Hey everybody, welcome to Highland Hedgehog Homestead. Thanks for joining us today. We're doing another garden tour. It is mid-June, June 11th, and so I just wanted to show you what we have going on in the garden. This is going to be a little bit more conversational than we usually are. We had my grandmother's funeral today at Arlington Cemetery, and it was nice, but with the pandemic going on, it was a little bit different as well. We were only allowed 10 people, so only close family, and we had it in the chapel there. And then she was interred with my grandfather, so it was very nice. But when getting home, and Arlington's about 2 hours each way away from where we live. So on getting home, I decided after cooking dinner that I needed some time out in the garden to kind of reset and, see new life growing. My grandmother died, passed away about a year and 2 months ago. So it's been a bit of time, but it was good to see that finally get closed and, have everything settled with that and have her finally join my grandfather in the cemetery. So thank you for joining us today, and let's see what we've got growing. So starting over here, we've got tons and tons of strawberries going. I actually need to harvest these before we head back up. These plants are just going bonkers in this container, this children's pool we've got. I got that idea from Roots and Refuge with Jessica. And they're all putting off shoots to grow new plants that you can see right there. So we're going to turn those into new plants once they set out roots and transplant them up front to our perennial garden. And then we've got some salad, some sorrel, 2 different types. This type here is French sorrel, and this type here, this one got real big. This one came through the winter. It's perennial. This is red-veined sorrel. And in the past 12 hours, we've gotten just about 1.25 inches of rain. So we've gotten a lot of rain just since last night, which is pretty cool. So it had been dry for a little while. So in this row, we've got our marigolds, we've got some herbs, we've got some volunteer lettuce that are doing great. You can see that there and there. And then this whole row is all of our cherry tomatoes. So we're excited about this row. Got a cattle panel set up that they're going to trellis up. And you can see some of them are already making it to the trellis. Some we still need to tie up. And then these are marigolds that are starting. Mom planted them. So all different kinds of cherry tomatoes here. We still got a hole for one more. And then those are tomatillos over there. And this one here is a ground cherry. Then at the end here we have a very tall bamboo teepee, and that has pole beans growing up it, Kentucky Wonder pole beans. So those will hopefully trellis up the whole thing. This is a new project for us over here. This is our Three Sisters garden, and as you can see, it's looking pretty good. So we've got some different sizes of corn, and the reason they're different sizes is the corn at this end, these taller plants here, that we actually started from seeds and modules indoors to see what the difference was and how it would do. I think I prefer starting it from seeds in the ground, just planting the seeds directly into the ground because it's a little bit easier. And then we've got various squash. Around the edge we have bush beans all right around the outside. And then this is our big comfrey plant that we need to cut because it's starting to go to seed. But then right next to each corn plant, there's a bean plant as well. You can see that there. The bean plants next to the corn plants are Kentucky Wonder pole beans, so they'll grow up and around the corn, which is nice. They'll help steady it. We need to do some weeding in this area because, as you can see, there's quite a bit of weeds here that need to come up. The squash is meant to stop that, but the squash hasn't gotten big enough yet and hasn't vined enough. It's vining at that end, but that squash went in a little bit before the rest of the squash did. So we're just waiting for that to happen to shade out some of these weeds. And then This one's gonna trellis up. We're gonna raise this one up on some sticks so it'll trellis up and be out of the walkway, which allows us to access this bed back here, which is the asparagus bed. This is new asparagus, so we didn't get to harvest anything from this year, and we won't get to next year either. But the year after that, oh boy, asparagus. In the corners of the asparagus bed, we have some giant sunflowers and nasturtiums that'll grow up. We grew them here last year as well. That's the stumps you can see there. Those are sunflower stumps from last year. So they did well here, and we liked them here. If we turn around this first bed, we've got this whole bed is peppers. Everything in here. We've got banana, we've got bell peppers. Starting to get some little flowers and even a couple little fruits on them. So that's exciting. Woof! See the puppies? They're out here with us. So yeah, banana peppers, bell peppers, mini bell peppers. We've got a cayenne in here. We've got 5 or 6 jalapenos, which are my husband's favorite. Ooh, the cayenne has a big pepper on it already. Let's take a look at that. So this is the cayenne pepper. Golden cayenne. We just got that from the store. Didn't have quite enough peppers to fill out the whole bed, so we picked up a couple extra. Over here we've got some of our beets. These look like they're doing great. About 10 feet of beets. You can see where we've started harvesting already in these holes. Hey guys! Hey! Hey! Hi! What cuties! Yeah! Hello! Hi! The one on the right is Eiley. The one on the left is Duke. They're standard collies. 16 weeks old next week. So, these beets are doing really well. If you can see there, they've got nice little shoulders on them. We've been picking these out as they're ready. So, like, let's pull this one. See, that's a nice beet. We'll have that, we'll saute the tops, we'll roast or juice the bottom, pickle it maybe, if we have enough at one time. Those will be delicious. I'm just gonna set that down there for later. Then we've got onions that we started from seeds. This whole area here is onions. And then leeks that we started from seed. More onions. And these are brassicas of some sort. I'm not sure what Mom planted here, but they are definitely brassicas. And in between them, we've got celery. And then looks like a volunteer tomato, or maybe potato. We had potatoes in these beds last year, so we might have missed one. Then over here we've got more leeks. We've got one that came up from last year that we missed. That's got a nice big flower on it. I want to see what the flower looks like, so we're going to leave it. Got a whole bunch of kale. Now we haven't covered this yet, but we are starting to see cabbage butterflies, as you saw earlier in the video. There was one here. There were little white butterflies, moths maybe. So they're going to start laying eggs on this. So what we've done is we've sprayed it with BT, and we're going to put the cover over it so that the cabbage moths can't get to it, and any eggs that were already laid will die from eating the BT. But you can see we've got a little bit of damage still. More celery in the middle. These are onions in the middle here. We've got a couple different types of this. Now, these heads of cabbage, I'm super excited about. These are getting nice and firm. They're probably ready to pick soon. They're real firm. And we've got 6 of them. We like cabbage, we like coleslaw, we like that kind of stuff. Another volunteer leek, or leek that we missed last year. So we're just waiting to see what this flower looks like. Maybe save some seed from it. It's American flag leek. And in between all these brassicas, we've got beets planted as well, but they're a bit behind the ones we've got behind me in the other row. But you can see them coming up. And then this broccoli, we've already harvested one round of broccoli, as you can see. And we've got these side shoots coming up, which we're gonna harvest in maybe a day or two, and those will be super tasty. Front here in these pots, we've got cucumbers. So those will grow up and on the fence that's here. And we've got 3 pots of those. And then this is ginger here. So that'll come up and be nice, glorious ginger root. So cucumbers, more cucumbers for trellising along the fence line. On the outside here, we've got potatoes. These are, I believe, red potatoes, Mom said. And then we've got snow peas, and those are zinnias coming up on the outside, the orange flower, and then snow peas. Let's see, that's a good size snow pea. I'm gonna eat that. Probably pick some more later. Same thing on the other side. Snow peas, some flowers, and there's marigolds there as well, and then some potatoes. This right here is a hose bib that we got from Tractor Supply. And we've got a splitter on it so we can have one hose going one way and the other going the other. And that actually was cemented in, so it's nice and sturdy. And then the hose goes all the way up to the house, which is the closest water source. Although I think later this year, we're gonna have someone run an underground pipe with hose and electricity down here for us. Behind me, we have more peas. These are ones I did a video about a couple weeks ago. They're starting to do really well. These are a couple weeks behind the peas that are at the front gate going up there. So they're not quite to the point of producing yet, but they will be soon. Just another couple days, and we'll be throwing out peas like the rest. Then we've got another teepee. This one's a little shorter. Only a little bit shorter though. You can see it goes up pretty tall. It's about 15 feet tall. This has Kentucky Wonder pole beans going on it. We need to weed this area too. This is our perennial propagation area. So we've got hazelnuts right here. These will go out front next year with our other hazelnuts. Then we've got currants here. These are all from Edible Acres. We ordered them, I think, end of last year, and they delivered in spring. So currants, these will all go back in the woods to line our pathways. And then these are all elderberries. You can see some of the flowers starting. Elderberries. And then this is a flower of some sort, but I'm not sure what Mom planted. Maybe a zinnia? I don't know. Over here are some of our carrots. These are spring sown carrots. So these were sown in February, I want to say. And they're doing pretty well. See if we can see some tops. We can. You guys see that? Let's pull one up and look at it. Oh yeah. I think these are tender sweet. That's a nice spring carrot. Doing well. This is all compost we've got these in. Just straight compost. That's how we made our beds. Next up here we've got more peas. I need to pick all the peas. They've exploded with all the rain we've gotten. They're as tall as I am. And then more flowers, zinnias, and I don't know what else Mom planted. Here we've got leeks. That's what all of these are. And then onions. These were all direct seeded instead of transplanted. So we just made rows, threw the seed in, and are letting them go. More onions. Some of them are real different sizes, which is nice to see. Some more peas. Those aren't doing as well. I'm not sure why. peas, more flowers, and then these here are our turnips. We harvested some of these the other day, so they're tasty. Doing well. Here's one. It's a little one I can pull up, but see, nice little purple top turnip. And the chickens love the turnip greens. They also love the carrot greens, so that's a good snack for them. So over here we've got yet more peas. These are done on tomato cages like I did in that one video. We really like growing them this way because it lets us grow them tall. It's not too heavy for the tomato cages. It just works really well. Next to that we've got some spinach. We've got in the front closest here, this is a more cold hardy spinach, so it bolts easier. But the back there is a slow bolt spinach, so we should get maybe another week or two of single leaf harvests out of that before we pull it all up. Then this whole row here is kind of a combination. So first, the tomatoes. They are San Marzano paste tomatoes. They're doing real well. Nice and sturdy tomatoes. Then we've got a volunteer something here. I'm not sure what it is. If anybody knows what it is, let us know. It's pretty. We've got interplanted here on the edge. The whole row has parsnips. That's what these are. And then inside we've also got, that's basil. And on the other side we've got some radishes, which some of them are starting to go to seed. We might pull up the rest of them, but you can see right there, got some shoulders on them, so still some food in there too. At the end on our bed here, we've got, these are our carrots. We're still working our way through these. These were planted, a lot of them were planted November? No, October maybe? So they've been there a while. Got some kale here that's going to seed. If you've never seen a kale seed, this is what a kale seed pod looks like. So they have these, see if I can get one off. First they have these beautiful yellow flowers, which the bees love. And then those flowers turn into these little spikes. Let's see if I can get one open. Give me just 1 second. They haven't turned black yet, but you can kind of see the seed inside there. When those dry out and turn black, that's what a kale seed looks like. So we're probably going to harvest these, maybe give them to the chickens. It smells like kale too. We are still harvesting leaves off of this for kale chips. These make fine kale chips when dehydrated. This here is in the walkway, but it's our horseradish. We're excited about horseradish, so dig up a root for that. And then along the fence here, you can kind of see it here, we've got grapes. So we've got one there. I don't think there's one any further than that. One here, one there, and then one at the end, and then one over there too. And here we've got some seeds that went out that are eggplant. We're hoping will come up. And then our poor flea beetle eaten eggplants. You can see all the holes the flea beetles do. Actually, you can see the flea beetles right there.
We haven't been able to get rid of them.
Yeah, we haven't figured out how to get rid of them, but we're working on it. We had flea beetles last year. As soon as, oh, this poor one eggplant, it's skeletonized.
Top leaves are coming out, though.
Yeah, top leaves are starting to come out. They'll be eaten too. Our eggplant looked like this last year, and they still produced, so they're hardy plants.
We may start some more inside.
Yeah, and we may start some more inside. Then we've got some lettuce. This one, this big one here, is the last one that went in last October. We're going to harvest it soon in its entirety. Starting to bolt a little bit, so, but it's still good. Still tasty. This bed is another bed of brassicas. You can see we're getting ready to cover it because we've got a lot of the cabbage moths out. And we just kind of keep our BT out here. Mix up a 2-gallon batch when we need to and spray it, and then we'll cover it. We wanted to get a couple sprays in before we covered it. to make sure that everything was good on it. You can see here some of the garlic we harvested. Those are some nice big cloves. I'm excited about these. These are hardneck garlics. So these are all brassicas. That's all different kinds of kale and other brassicas. Not all of them I'm sure will produce, and they're interplanted. All these little flowers you see are radishes that went to seed. So Jess says the radish pods taste really good, just from Roots and Refuge. So we're trying to see if those taste good. We're tasting them every once in a while. Down here are some, I believe, Brussels sprouts, more kale, some herbs here at the end. This next row over is, we've got a couple little kale plants here, some spinach that's bolting, a whole bunch of lettuce that needs to be picked and eaten, and then there are going to be cucumbers and lettuce on this trellis. So cucumbers on the downhill side, and then that'll shade. Our sun comes this way in the summertime, all the way over to there where you can see it. So it basically goes right across the yard. So south is that direction. So this will shade the lettuce from the hottest part of the sun when the cucumbers grow up this cattle panel here. This is the last of our garlic that we need to harvest. This is hardneck garlic, Norquai hardneck garlic. Oh, and I missed escape, but we'll take that and eat it. All right, so our last two beds here. So this bed here is a bed of mixed kale, flowers, and tomatoes. And these are all our big slicers in this bed right here. And this kale actually has been in the ground for, this is going on its second full summer, and it's still looking pretty good. Oh, look at Mr. Bumblebee pollinating our peas. Thank you, Mr. Bumblebee. Hello. How cool. He says, nope, don't film me. So these are all our big slicers, and some more kale that's going to seed here. The bees love this kale. Here's another little bumblebee. Hello. So we try to leave some flowers like this for them. Marigolds. And we've got Paul Robeson. We've got big red slicers. We've got Big Boy hybrid. And down here at the end, we've got another really tall teepee with Kentucky Blender pole beans at the bottom. If we turn around, these are more paste tomatoes. But in our first paste tomato bed, we had San Marzano. These are all Amish paste and Roma. So we weren't sure which type of paste tomato we would like the best. So we wanted to try a couple. We've never done paste tomatoes specifically before. So this is a Amish paste. And we've been trying to keep them clean of suckers, but you guys know how that is. Oh, we've got some flowers going. See that right there? Looking good. There's basil, purple and green basil, interplanted here. We've got some other herbs interplanted, and some of these still need to be tied up, but they'll get there. We'll get there. They're growing fast. More basil. And then these two here, this one and this one that are a little bit bushier, are the Roma tomatoes. And we're leaving them a little bit bushier because the San Marzano and the Amish paste, oh look, we have our first baby tomato.
Really?
Yeah, right there. Hello, baby. Get nice and red for us. The San Marzano and the Amish paste tomato are both indeterminate tomatoes. So they'll keep growing and growing and growing and just give off. Romas, according to our research, are determinate tomatoes. So they will get to a certain size and then fruit all at once, ripen all at once, and then stop. So because of that, what we'll end up doing is, or what we end up doing is not pruning those as heavily because they only get so big and then all the fruit and then they die. So you don't want to prune them as much or else you don't get as much fruit. The indeterminate types you want to keep pruning because the more you prune, the more they grow, the better fruit set you get. The last bit of this is a little bit of spinach and some bolting lettuce. I'm not sure what we're going to put here when we pull this out, but we're going to fill it in. Same with over there on that bed next to the cucumbers. We'll fill it in with something, find something to fill it in with. So what do you guys think we should grow in those spots that we have empty that we're not sure what we'll put in? What do you think we're missing? What do you love? What plants do you think should go in there? Leave a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for joining us in this relaxing evening gardening tour, or tour of our garden. And thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your day.